Hey, I'm Kev Mr. Welcome back to MXGP Pro. Has Kev Hillman definitely did announce his return to the championship last out in Argentina with the double and the overall victory. Can he back it up with another victory round Leon in Mexico in the first race? But before we do the race, we of course got to qualify. So this is our only lap in qualifying. As you just get used to this circuit, and remember, this very wide first corner before it heads into the right-hander, which is much tighter, it feels like. But it's nice to have a dry track after what we experienced in Argentina for the most part. Especially that second race. But that right-hander that we've just been through, that used to be a proper corner now. You really take that flat out as you go through the left-hander. So this Leon circuit actually seems to be a bit more wide open than it used to be. Feels much quicker. But then we got the corner from hell which came up with the next left-hander. Let's see if that's still the case. Doesn't look like it. Or is there another left-hander coming up? There are a couple corners like that on this circuit to go through the next left. Oh, this is now a massive jump. Okay, I remember that not being the case in previous editions. Is that the left-hander I'm talking about? All the corners look quite similar now. It actually used to be a bit more distinctive previously. No, this is the left-hander. Not as bad now, because that used to be right in the middle, kind of the arch of the corner. Now it's a bit before then. That jump's a bit more pronounced now, so not as bad. We've got a much longer run into this tabletop as we go a bit wide in through the final couple corners. Looks like Hillman's going to be at the top. 39.9. As Hillman out at the top by a second qualifying session in a row. That has been the case for Siwa in second, Jonas third, Olsen fourth. Patriola ran out the top five ahead of Hunter Lawrence in Thomas Covington, Garcia, Leiber and Bogues in 10th. The Bernardini, and right at the back is the Japanese rider. So let's head to the race as we count up those credits and a little bit of fame. So here's Hillman revving it up at the start on the outside as we wait for the gates to drop. And we're underway in Mexico. Hillman going for the outside line. Look at this though, it works beautifully, almost into the top five. That's the drop back slightly as he gets into Patrell. He goes four wide, but he says he's in fourth momentarily. Then he gets pushed wide by 96. Someone's down behind. It's that Olsen. No, it's the Brit trying to make a move on the Husqvarna. But Hillman up to 7th from the back, up into the top 5 now. Trying to push past Jonas into 3rd. What a magical start for Hillman. As you go over the jumps, you've got Siwa behind, rounding out the top 5. Got Covington, and is that his teammate Olsen in front in the lead. Could we have another Hillman-Olsen battle here in Mexico as he goes wide, get onto the track, go. As he's dropped down to 8th, after just sliding wide a bit. Again, it's just one lane round here. Let's see if that actually develops into multiple lanes like it should. If Rutten is actually meant to be realistic, as Hillman just pushes someone wide. As now the onus up into second ahead of Covington. Gets pushed wide again by someone. But he's down the inside of 96 who messed up as Hunter Lawrence with another decent start, but not good after. And he's being pushed wide, this time by Lawrence, by the Frenchman as well. He's down to 8th again. And when you get pushed wide, you're off the only real line you want to take round it. And so you're just slower. Siwa's ahead of Jonas back into 3rd. Here goes Hillman over the jump. Not very well taken though. Now he's dropping out the top 10. He's been pushed wide by Bogues as well. Just got to push himself in front of the 96. This is what you got to do. Unfortunately, with just one line, you've got to push riders wide. Make them go slow. Even if you're going slow on the racing line, at least you'll be going away in the groove and you'll have better traction. As Hillman battles his way up to 7th. As he go into the left-hander. And this track very much more rutted than it was in qualifying. So let's see how Hillman does. He's not doing badly over these jumps though, right in the back of 5th, but there's nothing you can do. As I said, it's one line at the moment. Should be able to develop another line though, surely, as the race goes on. As you see, it's the Frenchman battling in front for top 5. Someone goes through the left-hander. Good jump. And remember, you've got to take this jump a bit slower. It's all a bit on the back wheel there from Hillman. Trying to get the weight forward, just not working. That's a treacherous right-hander. Let's go over to the left. Got to be pretty cautious. Looks like one Frenchman's winning. The other's being pushed back to 7th. As Hillman's through. No, a bit wide on the exit. Trying to carry speed through a corner. How dare he? Just leads him to being off the line though. We must move into the left-hander, up into 6th. Let's go over the jumps. Fast that 39.6 in front. Hillman already dropping back off the leaders. So like being right there at the start and just going off slightly has cost him so many positions, cost him around 5 seconds at least already. That one slight mistake. But he does have the pace around here, at least in qualifying trim. We'll see if it translates into the race. Got a long race here of around 20 laps, I imagine. Maybe 21. He goes over that jump. Look, absolutely fly over that jump. You go over this section, try and carry as much speed as you can. Now he's all over the Frenchman. And he's found a way down the inside though of his old rival. Up into 5th for Hillman. Only temporarily though. But he does have the pace on the Yamaha. Oh, forces his way by into 5th. Definitely his elbows out racing here in Mexico. Very dry surface. Good to have after what we had in Argentina in that second race. Can be a bit more aggressive with the throttle. With the surface being so hard as well. Very tricky if you are offline. That's why it is only just one line at the moment. It's all a bit sideways into the right hand, and Pacho trying to push Hillman wide. But Hillman's got that bike alongside and pushes Pacho right in front. That's what you get, French, for trying to do that. Hillman knows how to battle. As he goes into the first corner, very wide though. Oh, he's coming back. And into the right hand, they're trying to switch back. There's the Frenchman again, trying to push Hillman wide. It's basically a battle of pushing riders wide, and then Hillman comes back into the left hand. Takes back 5th, but you're losing time to the top 4 with Leiber in 4th. Great run from the Belgium at these stages. As he goes through the left hand, they get on the power, Hillman. God's sake, just slightly out the groove. Slows down so much. But he's back ahead of the Frenchman. Let's once again get up to 4th. They're down to 3rd for the left-hander. He actually is gaining on the Belgian rider in front. He might be finally ahead of his rival. And finally pulling away. We'll see though. At the end of this lap, you can see 3rd in front as well. Let's go over that jump. That's the most difficult corner, that left-hander. Because the UK, you're just slightly too much speed. You're heading into an advertising audit. Don't exactly want to face plant that. But Hillman, he's getting it together now. But it's just about all the time he's lost battling there for 5th. How much time has he lost? Particularly on the top 2. As you can see, they're not in frame. Hillman crossing the line with a 40. Not bad at all. As they go through the left hand, and look, for some reason they just can carry so much speed through there. We try and carry so we get bumped wide, of course. Cannot carry the speed into that corner. And then into the left hand as well. Rear end getting out. As he's just over a second behind the Belgium. Let's go into the left hand. They just have to manage that throttle. As Garcia's battling hard for 7th with the Frenchman. Hillman over this jump section. He's pretty good over here. Make sure you don't get too wide in that last right-hander as well. Don't get too high over the tabletop either. And out the left-hander, you can see the middle part of that seems to be very good for Hillman. Goes a bit wide there. Luckily the bank comes to his rescue, but he is definitely gaining on the top three now. And see, the top two actually haven't pulled away too much in it, it's like. As Hillman tries to find some revs, I don't know what happened there, just like almost stalled there. So going to the hairpin at the end of the lap. Out the right-hander. Very tough surface still here. Might have been better if it was wet. Might actually feel like we're getting traction out of corners. They're just sliding everywhere. Hillman again with a 1 minute 40. So he's not losing too much time to the leaders. Even though now he's going to be battling for fourth. So he could be losing seconds here again. Trying to overtake some of his all but a bit wide. Hillman a bit too tight though. You can see just had to wait for the bike to rotate. But we got to use that rear brake a bit more. As we come to the end of the first third of the race, Hillman down the inside for fourth. Leiber made that very easy. Split a bit more of a fight from the Belgium. And maybe he wants Hillman to battle for third so he can then join in. As he's behind Seaward, a Swiss rider. Another veteran of this series. Someone Hillman has done battle with in the past as well. And he already has a little net down the inside for third. Oh, Seaward very slow. Hillman a bit wide, but now he's got the inside. And you can see the top two in front. As he goes through the left-hander into third. That's it, Hillman. Making some moves this race, and now you can see the top two not that far in front, Jonas. And I believe that's Covington as well. Or was it Olsen? We'll find out shortly. As all Hillman deep into the right-hander. And Jonas actually dropping back in it, it's like. And it says there's two riders in front. So there's Jonas actually in third, and we're in fourth. So we go Hillman 38.6. Now he's in the groove. As we end the first third of the race. Fantastic start, and then Hillman's just been battling his way forward again after a slight mistake on the opening lap. But he's back where he was now, right in the tail end of second. He's got Leiber and Patriel now battling for that top five. Zimmer goes through the left-hander. You can see he's trying to take some alternate lines here, try and open up another groove. Well, the circuit is just one groove, it looks like, unfortunately. And that won't change as the race goes on with the rutting. We know that from the likes of Qatar, Indonesia, Argentina already. Zimmer using the banking well there, gets a superb exit. He's got careful into the right-hander as well. Or left-hander, should I say. Not to carry too much speed, but then you got the bank in there that's like kind of help you as well. As what the hell? Get going, Hillman. Drops down to fourth. Just ahead of the Frenchman. Just got a wheel slightly wide there for that left-hander. That is why it's the corner from hell around this circuit. What's he doing in the hairpin? Get going. Accelerated way too early. Now he's catching up to second. Now he's trying to hold on to fourth. It's once again a bit wide. He's still got the Frenchman and Leiber battling behind. But that mistake's cost him 5 seconds. That one mistake. He's going to be back in this third of the race. He'll be battling again to get back up to where he was. This is what this whole race is going to be. And it's like Hillman making a slight mistake early on in a third of the race, and then, or third of the section, and then spending the rest of the section battling to get where he was. But still, he's battling for a podium at least, and he's had one fall, and then one slight mistake. So only 2 mistakes so far. But unlike Argentina, where they didn't cost him too much, all those falls and mistakes, because he had so much pace over the rest of the field, here it's vital. He doesn't have that much pace over the rest of the field. Let's go for the left-hander. This course is much trickier to ride, it feels like, despite being dry, despite, as you can see, appearing to be wide open. It's not. As what the hell? The sign clips him. Get going, get going. That's absolutely stupid mistake. I like how it's the only section as well where there are signs right next to the track, it feels like. They could affect you. Now Hillman's down and been taken out by the Frenchman. Absolute arsehole there. So Hillman's down to 7th. Thanks to another couple of mistakes. One not his fault though. Just got wiped out there. Now he's got to push like out in the second half of the race to even get a podium now. That's what happens. One mistake leads to another sometimes. Now after making just one mistake in that first third, he's now made 3 in this third, and we're not even halfway through. As he goes a bit wide into the left-hander. As he's catching up to Cervelin, and that's Covington down in 10th. Being passed by Garcia for 9th, so it's not Covington in the lead, it's Olsen. That's the Dane. Out of that, Fionn. So here goes Hillman over the jumps. Got to be so precise. Just can't carry speed around this track. It's frustrating riding around it. But I get the feeling that's going to be every track now. There being inherently just one real groove. But Hillman all over the back. For 6th, and he's been wiped out again. What an absolute idiot that person is in front. He's behind Bogas now, down to 9th. We might as well just give up on the podium now. It's no point. Try and get a top 5 maybe for Hillman. As he goes into the hairpin, almost wipes out Bogas, but he doesn't want to do it to the Dutchman. Wants to wipe out the Frenchman instead. So try and line that up in the next couple of laps as Hillman again loses around 4 seconds. And then lands perfectly fine like he normally has done this race, but this time it makes him fall. This has just gone pear-shaped in the middle of this race, and now he's been pushed right by Garcia. Hillman tries to make the move, but he's down to 10th. What a horrible race this has turned into in the middle third. Probably just in the second half of it, it's Garcia very slow over the tabletop, so Hillman back up into 9th. Because what the hell, where's the bike going over there? Once again, that's what we've been doing every lap, but this time the bike just V's off to the right. So after only having 1 fall in the first third, it's been 5, at least 6 falls now in this section alone. Hillman needs to cut out these mistakes. Needs to be cut out these opponents as well, especially that Frenchman. Go over the jump in 10th, so he's getting the top 10 at least at the moment. Then runs a bit wide in the right-hander. Go over the jump, then he's got to watch out into this right-hand. He could easily get taken out. As here comes the Italian, trying to push Hillman wide. What an absolute arsehole. So Hillman just brushes by, uses him to lean on, as he's lost another 5 seconds this or that. This time takes way less speed over that jump. I don't get how he crashed on that previous lap, because we've been doing that the whole race. You've seen we've been doing that the whole race. Just that time, he's so full. But he's over the back of Garcia now. He's way behind his teammate, Jonas. don't normally expect this from the Spaniard. Normally quite even. KTM pair as he gets hit from behind by the Spaniard. But Hillman takes 9th. Now he's trying to catch up to Covington. And Hasvan, I believe, in front in 8th. Then we've got Bogues right in front. And it is indeed the Hasvana rider. American again, another who's way behind his teammate. As he go through the left hand, watch out for the slide. And then through the left hander again. So he landed very aggressive over this section, but again, it doesn't get affected like it does on that opening jump. As what the hell? Get going again in the groove, Hillman. Just keep believing that. One day it'll be true. Just going to the hairpin. Gotta be careful getting on the power, so easy to spin up the reels. Just cost yourself time that way. Someone goes through the left hand. Oh, what the hell? Now the rear tire decides to grip. As he does a 39, so at least he's back on pace. Now let's see if he can get back on form in this final third of the race and get that top 5. Probably still not out of reach, considering you can see 8th, 7th and 6th. As Boga gets overtaken by Covington. We're short shifting everywhere now. Let's go out the left hander. I'm surprised that, yeah, in this jump, look, every time we land very hard like that, yeah, nothing happens. Yeah, we do it on the front stretch and get wiped out. It's like, oh no, Hillman! Are you absolutely kidding? He's slightly off. He's down again. Of course he has to end this third race falling again. Just seems right. So if you're doing the drinking game, apologise about the liver now. As I think that's his 7th fall now. Again, one where just slightly off because he has to make a move around the outside, but then he's out the groove, so can't do anything there, really. Whereas now he's got Bernardini trying to make a move. Let's go into the final proper corner. And hard on the power. And just as he gained time, he's lost around 5 seconds at that. There's Hillman. We're in the final third of the race now, so at least this torch is almost over. Good thing we don't have another race round here to do. Let's go into the left-hander. He's behind the Brit, who's in the top 10. That's a pretty good ride on the Hasvan. And not far behind Covington. As you can see, he's actually pretty close here with Bogues getting a bit slower now. Covington's raced through. So we should be racing away. And now, just jinxed ourselves, didn't we? You said it last lap. Oh, nothing happens here if we land like we normally do. Now we land like we normally do, we go down. It's almost like they're listening. So Hillman down to 12. Thanks to another stupid fall. How are we going to make moves around this? The only way we can make moves is being aggressive. But then if we're being aggressive, the line is so thin now. As you've seen, trying to make a move, you go slightly off the line, you're down. So where are we going to be making moves then on riders? As Hillman just got to pray for a top 10 now. Top 5's gone. Still a few riders in front. We go towards the line. At least that's only costing around 3 seconds. It's behind the Italian. He's very slow in the first corner. Opens up for Hillman into the second. Just got to push the Italian ride. Take back 11th. And then he pushes us wide into the left-hander. It's absolutely ridiculous, and by doing that we slow each other down by a lot. So really this is an anti-battling game now. It's just about hot lapping, really, it feels like. And again he's down in that corner, despite again landing like we have done for the previous, I don't know, 12, 13 laps. Now suddenly we can't do that in this final third of the race. Maybe ruts do actually develop then as the race goes on. Doesn't feel like it. Feels like we're riding the same surface for Hillman. But still, he's right on that battle for 7th, is it, or 8th? So all is not lost still for at least 8th. Crazy to think. But again, how are we going to make moves? Because when we do make moves, we slow each other down by a second or two. As we go into right hand, sideways. And again, out the groove, come on. Just out the groove slightly. Slightly. You're talking about an inch, really. That's enough. Might do a rain dance in between these races, because as I said, these conditions are absolutely horrible to ride in. Even though it is dry, even though it looks like we've got multiple grooves, you just got one. There's all the Brits down as well. Hillman up into 11th, so there's a top 10 right in front. Oh, he can actually now survive this corner. Thanks for allowing us to stay upright for once. As we go through the right hand, don't lose that rear end too much. As we might actually be in double figures as well again. So that streak of being in single figures lasted one race. As Hillman down the inside of Bernardini for 10th. Italian tries to wipe him out because, of course, you can't get past them legitimately, just wipe them out. What the hell? These are just getting stupider, these crashes. We've got Hunter Lawrence in front. Hillman down to 13th. Go over the jumps. Make sure you don't run too wide. And lose the rear as well, which you seem to be doing under braking. I think that's how we crashed the last time. Because he dabbed the brakes for that jump, so we don't go too far. But then that made the rear go wide, it seems like. So you can do anything. As Petrov, who has also started well in the top 10, unfortunately he's down to 17th now, so for these buddies, not going well. As they head into the hairpin, with under 5 minutes remaining. Come on, Hillman, get at least the top 10. After a disaster of a race, he should be battling right at the front, pace-wise. Maybe he doesn't have the outright pace to launch himself like in Argentina, but again, like in Qatar at least, he's got pace to do a fastest lap and be around that top 5. Why is he down there? I was saying that's full 11 now. He's back up to Indonesia standards. So you go into this jump. See, that's what we were meant to do previous there, but I think we just dragged the brakes a bit too much. As you go through that right hand, there's so many bumps there. You can't dream of hitting the apex, you just dream of not crashing into the bay on the outside. As you go over the jump, again, very wide. Hillman just so cautious now because everything he does seems to end up in a fall. So we've got 4 laps remaining.
I think. Might be 5. Depends when the leaders cross the line, because we're probably a minute behind the leaders. Thanks to all these falls. And without any falls, he would be right with the leaders. So it just shows you that just got to keep the mistakes down, or getting wiped out down. Go through the left hander, just nail that throttle on the exit. And then ease off the throttle a bit as well. That's a better run. Of course it's a better run. And it leads us to the outside slightly. Once again being out the groove slightly. This is more like circuit racing, actually. Now that I'm saying it's out of the groove and there's one line. That's what it feels like. Are we sure it's not MotoGP 18? Can we actually check? Actually might make MotoGP 18 fun if it's more like this, to be fair. Being off-road. As we go into the hairpin. He is gaining on Hunter Lawrence in front. The Australian again, he always has a superb like opening first 2 laps. And then falls back, he has a super start. It's a bit like Jorge Lorenzo sometimes you see on his Ducati in MotoGP. He has a super start. And then falls back as, oh, there's a battle for the lead. Right at the end, Jonas and Olsen. And it's like the Latvian is winning. He's got Bernardini slowing down, it seems like, on his TM. Hunter Lawrence all over the back of him. So try and get on the power out the corner. Hunter Lawrence hanging off the bike. Oh, and almost down for the Australian. Hillman up to 12th, up to 11th. Bashes his way down the inside of Bernardini. He pushes him wide and into a barrier. Probably deserved that Hillman on that one. Because they did try and dive from a long way back. And Hunter Lawrence again right in the back of him. The Italian just can't shake us. I've dispatched one into a barrier. One's gone into a barrier on the free. Oh no, the right back of my tail. Help me. He's doing the SOS sign to his TM team now. As we do have 3 to go. What the hell? What happened there? There's Olsen. What the hell? That wasn't even a jump. He just fell for the heck of it. As we've got 2 laps to go. Thank God it's 2 laps to go. As Olsen, Jonas crashes from second. Olsen's going to win. Dane's going to win on his Husqvarna and probably deserves it. He's been leading since the whole shot. Absolutely been cranking it in this race. Well, for Hillman down in 13th, it is the first race. We've seen this all season long apart from Argentina. First race, absolutely abysmal. Second race, less abysmal. Still not good, but at least gets top 10, top 5s. There's Hunter Lawrence ahead of Bernardini now. Let's go over the tabletop. Still hope for Hillman to catch up to the Italian. Not if he rides like that, way out the groove, into the right-hander. To go over the jumps. Really got to check your throttle. As we go into the left-hander. Go through the next there for us running wide. That's the annoying thing sometimes, just going slightly wide and you're just waiting for the bike to turn around and suck you back in. Rear brake or not, it doesn't really help you as what the hell again. Some of the time the bike just has a mind of its own. You're not really controlling it, it feels like. Let's go through the left-hander. And finally on to the last lap of this race. And then we can cool down, and hopefully the second race will be much better than this shit show. So I've been trying to find some confidence with the rear of this bike. We might have to do some suspension changes, maybe the springs. Maybe that's why this bike feels like just an anchor offline and over the bumps. Got to make the springs a bit softer maybe. See if that helps. There's Oslin's up to 15th out of the Belgium. Hillman catching up to Bernardini. You can see how slow the TM is. Hunter Lawrence has just ridden away. And Hillman's just ridden up to the backside of Bernardini despite his efforts. Hillman up into 12th, not quite. Bernardini gets him on the exit. And chops off Hillman. Hillman gives a bit of the elbows back. Olsen wins. Well done to the Norwegian. Bernardini just punts him wide. And Bernardini very slow over that jump as well. Hillman's really got the back off, which affects him into this right-hander. So he's only got one more place to make a move on the Italian. And launches it down the inside and takes 12th. So that's a 39.5 on the final lap as well. As Olsen wins after 33 minutes and 20 laps by just 4.6 seconds ahead of Jonas. The Yamaha finishing third, Ella Suzuki. Indicating a Viber just ahead of Garcia, Covington. There's that Honda Twat, and then we got Bogas and the Brit rounding out the top 10. I said he was a French, he was actually Italian. Do apologise for that. There's Hillman in 12th. Disappointing result once again in the opening race, as he only gets 9 points. Roy Olsen gets 25. The Italian gets 13. Undeserved points. And then see 1 point for the Japanese rider, the Frenchman, and the German at the bottom. So we do get some credits, a little bit of fame as well. But let's see how we do in race 2. Can we avoid the chaos and make it through to grab another podium? Sam for watching. We'll find out next time.